jokers who completely vehemently opposed it, right? And now saying, no, we are okay with them, we have to work with them, we will work with them.
All the people who have supported him for these corrupt practices have been taken in.
Because sadly, our people in this country now think that this is a protest vote, that all the major two parties have failed and let's give a third party another chance.
Why can't a government officer be entrepreneur as well?
I believe most of political parties don't have internal democracy.
Newsfirst, face to face with Gajanayake.
Hello there and welcome to yet another edition of Newsfirst Face to Face, coming to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo on the 17th of April 2024. I'm Gajanayake for the Newsfirst team, and tonight my guest is someone who is very well versed in democratic functions, democratic matters, and also coming to electoral matters, which is said to be a crucial aspect for Sri Lanka as we are counting down days for the polls later this year. He is Mr. Manjula Gajanayake, representing the Institute for Democratic Reforms and Electoral Studies. Welcome to the show, Mr. Gajanayake. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having me in this show.
Certainly. Mr. Gajanayake, to get the ball rolling this evening, I want to start off by asking you about something that has been asked many a times, and I'm sure that you have a very set answer for this question. But talking about democracy in Sri Lanka, although we say that we are the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, we have seen the people who we have elected and who have been selected to govern the citizens of Sri Lanka using democracy willy-nilly. The constitution has been disregarded at times, and we have seen the turmoil and the chaos it has created in governance structures and also to the people at certain points. So first of all, my question to you is, how did this happen? How did it come to a point where rulers or those in power have simply disregarded Sri Lanka's constitution and the articles that the constitution comprises of?
Yeah, thanks for actually that it is a wonderful entry to this discussion, because we are living under the second Republican Constitution,
right.
But unfortunately, we are the nation that blatantly violate the constitutional provisions, especially related to elections, as well as other aspects. Is that actually I can see the two perspectives with your questions. The first thing is that as citizens, are we fulfill our obligations in a very well manner? The number one. Number two is actually, since we are living under the representative democracy, okay, that the representatives that we are sending to the parliament, that are they doing their job best? That is the two main aspects.
Right.
The first thing is actually most of things, then as Sri Lankan, I can see that actually we don't have most of citizens. Unfortunately, we do have only voters. Because closer to elections, we know it is everyone know, Jamal, that actually if we are receiving something, we are like to vote for those people who are giving something. But citizen, if you are a citizen, actually you will not do like that, because if you are a citizen, actually you have a specific role to play in this Republican country. But unfortunately, we can't see such a move in this country. The other aspect is actually, that people are going to hate, and people are creating many memes, and most of people are, especially in youth, actually, that they are going to hate, that they are hates that the politicians what they are doing right now. But let me to say, that most of people are saying that all 225 representatives are versed, and actually that some of people are rejecting the whole parliament. But as I know that there are sectoral committees, many special committees, not always actually the functions that we are seeing in the main chamber of the parliament
is not only what is happening.
There are many work actually. Then I mean, as an election observer, let me to say actually we can't reject all 225 people. There are some people, there are some representatives doing their job well, because they are attending some oversight committees, special committees, and doing many things. But unfortunately, you know, as a whole, that our parliament has failed, because you know that the Center for Policy Alternatives did a wonderful research poll recently. According to their findings, there's one of findings that the confidence vested with people's public institutions, parliament, political parties like that. According to their findings, actually in 2011, more than 60% interest among people on parliament as well as political parties, but it has declined up to 11 point in this time. Then we can see that people has a frustration among them.
It has declined to 11%.
11% from 60 or 63% actually. There's a greater decline, no? Then that is the situation currently, but we have to fix somewhere now. I mean, as an election observer, I strongly believe that if we can hold elections on proper time, then we can change maybe this vicious cycle.
Certainly. We have much to discuss with our guests tonight. However, we must cross over a short commercial break. Do stay tuned to Face to Face. We will be right back.
Newsfirst, face to face with Jamal Ratnayaka.
ජනාධිපතිතුමාගේ විදිහට අපි ගොඩද
මේ ප්‍රතිපත්ති රාමුවත් මේකත් හිස් වූ රාමුවක්
නායකෙක්ට පුළුවන් අවශ්‍යයි නම් සංවේදීත් වෙලා ඒ වෙලාවෙම තාර්කිකත් වෙන්න
ජානමය හේතුත් බලපාන්න පුළුවන් ද සමහර වෙලාවට මානසික තත්ත්ව වෙනස් වෙන්න
මානසික රෝගයක් 80%ක් ජානගතයි 20%ක් එන්වයරන්මන්ට් එකේ ඉන්නේ
නින්දේදිත් සිදුවෙන ශ්වසන අපහසුතාවන් පිළිබඳ අපිට වාර්තා වෙනවා මේක ගොරවනකොට වැඩි වෙනවද
නින්දේදී සිදුවන ශ්වසන අවහිරතාවය නැත්නම් අපි මේක හඳුන්වනවා මේ ඔබස්ට්‍රක්ටිව් ස්ලීප් ඇප්නියා කියන තත්ත්වය
ජාතික මෙහෙවර සතියේ දිනවල උදෑසන 11ට
Singharaja, Sri Lanka's precious world heritage.
Newsfirst, face to face with Jamal Ratnayaka.
Welcome back to Face. I am currently in conversation with Mr. Manjula Gajanayake, Institute for Democratic Reforms and Electoral Studies. Before we crossed over to the short commercial break, Mr. Gajanayake, we were discussing the public's trust that has been placed on public institutions, or rather governing institutions, including parliament and political parties, declining. Yeah. And you said that it had declined from around 60% to 11% most recently. Yeah. So in that context, I want to ask you, that decline represents a certain political apathy, that the public is simply disinterested in the country's affairs, in the governance of the country, who is truly leading them. But with that comes the argument, how is the public supposed to know which representative is good for them if they are unaware of who is available to vote for and who is available to work for them?
It is very important questions actually. You know that I am representing the steering committee of March 12 movement also.
Right.
March 12 movements created to create, build
Awareness.
clean political, clean political culture in Sri Lanka.
Certainly.
Actually, our objective is that creating a clean political culture in Sri Lanka, wherein people, they're giving more awareness to general public.
Okay.
Then in that, when we start in 2015, actually we were introduced eight set of criteria for the people, how to select people, how to select candidates.
Right.
Because you know that in Sri Lankan, it is actually very sad situation that most of political party secretaries or leader has more powers to select people as candidates. Okay,
right.
Actually they are coming under the purview of the secretary. Actually they need to win the hearts of either secretary or political leader to take the
get a ticket.
Okay,
Right.
Then that is the situation. Then in this moment actually that we can't change that vicious cycle because it is under the political party constitution
jurisdiction
and
of a
also it
certain
is the
political
election law. No, election commission is accepting the words and letters of the political party secretaries.
Certainly.
But in that moment actually we introduced scorecard system. Then scorecard system actually we introduced that 8 criteria that whether is environmental friendly, people friendly, representing community or not, like that.
Right, okay.
Then people can fill the scorecard seeing the behavior of those candidates.
Right.
It is a one way. And other thing is actually you know that some of platform like Mantri.lk like that actually they are doing a wonderful job actually what is the behavior and actions taken by most of representatives in the parliament. That what I talked earlier actually it is before selecting to the parliament, electing to the parliament as candidates, then it is one thing. And other thing is that actually you can see what is going on around that we are living in a bankrupted country. It is one way. And other thing is actually most of times you know you can't find your representative in your village, in your towns. Actually they are disappear most of time. They are not fulfilling their job. That is the situation. Then that's why actually if there's a movement of citizens in district level, divisional secretary level, you can push and actually you can create something regarding this. But unfortunately we can't see such active citizens in the country. That is the situation. That's why some of platform like March 12 movement and other civil society organizations working on this to aware people more and more. Even today I was attending another seminar in Goal organized by March 12 movement. In that seminar actually we gathered almost each representative from registered political party to there, and as also we gave a chance to people to ask questions directly from
their
them.
representatives.
Then we created that discussion. I mean we are going to create such a discussion in 25 districts, but it is not enough. Okay, but it is not to create this culture, to change this culture. Almost all the citizens, organizations, professional organizations, media, everyone should come together. But unfortunately, most of people are thinking that changing the system and everything, it is up to election monitors, civil society organizations like that. But you can't change like that. Like Aragale actually, all the people should come together.
Be a collective effort.
Yeah, if there's no collective effort actually, you will not be able to change this vicious cycle.
So speaking of a vicious cycle, you spoke about how a certain person who intends to compete or who intends to join a certain poll, be it the local government elections or the parliamentary elections, should be on the good books of a particular party's secretary. And that also translates into that person having a lot of wealth, because we know campaigns are a very hefty affair to your pocket, and if you don't have the dough, especially in Sri Lanka, you are unable to mount a successful political campaign. But that brings me to the point of talking to you about campaign finance laws in Sri Lanka, leveling the playing field so that even intellectuals who are capable of delivering high quality answers to the issues that Sri Lanka is facing, being able to be elected rather than either coming through the national list or acting as advisors, but rather be elected by the people through campaign finance laws, leveling this playing field and ensuring that even someone who has less funds than an established politician, for example, is able to contest and also get into parliament or any governance body. So how important is a campaign finance law in Sri Lanka, and how strong are those laws if they are in place in Sri Lanka at present?
Jamal, thanks for asking that question. You know that as an election observer, I strongly believe that introducing campaign finance law to regulate campaign finance, actually it is a revolutionary step taken by Election Commission. Okay, but let me to say, but the initiate that this great effort initiated not by Election Commission at the beginning in 2015 and 2016. Actually, Mr. Mahinda Deshapriya was the chairman of the Election Commission at that time.
Yes.
But as March 12 movement, PAFRL and other organization, Mr. Rohan Etiarachi, and actually I also involved with that. Actually, we are the people who introduced that initial bill, initial draft to that. But after that, actually, Election Commission initiated and actually they were spearheading the process and finally they introduced under the chairmanship of Mr. Nimalji Punchhewa in 2023. Okay, number 3 of 2023 Campaign Expenditure Act.
Right.
The other thing is actually the parallel to this act, actually there was another election law, that 18 plus Act, that election law, actually it also that both of election campaign law and 18 plus law, actually both of them were revolutionary acts, steps taken by Election Commission. Then let me to say that before 1977 we had a golden law related to campaign finance. According to some of reports, actually maybe nearly 15, maybe nearly 11 or 12, nearly 15 members have expulsed, I mean removed from their seats because of that campaign finance law.
I see.
Because this introduced in 1931 up to 1947 as well as up to 1977. After that, after we introduced proportional representative system, actually that campaign finance law also removed. But after that only that this introduced this law. According to this law, but this time you know that unfortunately we missed a golden opportunity because of last local government election.
Yes.
Still we are in the election time, that active time, because local government election, Government Election Commission got nomination, but they have not cancelled. That means we are actively involved with the campaign finance.
I see.
But unfortunately, you know, no one spearhead in the process. Unfortunately, Election Commission also in silent mood, and also government and always telling that no money. And though they are wasting money for other unnecessary matters most of times. Then that's why we missed that chance to test that campaign finance law in that during the local campaign finance, local election time.
Right.
But I strongly believe that then maybe either general election, parliamentary election, or presidential election, we can use this. According to this law, during local government election, they have imposed that 20 rupees per voter you can spend.
Okay.
If we are using this method to the presidential election also, you know that the president can spend only 340 million rupees only during election
For
time
this entire
period.
campaign.
But I strongly believe, I mean, we can't reject that you need money. You need money to access to the people, to express your message to people. Then maybe 20 rupees, maybe it will increase up to 40 or 50 rupees in that election.
Yes.
But according to the local government election, if it is happening 20% per voter is sufficient.
20 rupees per voter.
Yes, because you know that let's say that Madavachyo, Kapitigolla, Pradesh Sabha, some area, there are only 10,000 or 11,000 voters in that wards, in that Pradesh Sabha. There are 10 or 15 wards maybe during that Pradesh Sabha or any local government bodies. Then you have to spend only the
number of people within
number
that
of
ward.
people within that ward only. Okay, but during the presidential time, election time period, you know that whole the country will consider as one constituent.
Right.
Okay, then you know last election in 2019 and 2020, it was the very first initiative as CMEV. When I was there, actually we done a cost monitoring.
Right.
Okay, according to we can find only 20 or 25% money what spent by politicians in each elections.
I see.
Okay, because it is just like a tip of iceberg.
Okay.
There are many expenditures actually. We can't go into depth to find those money.
Right.
But actually the advertisement, newspaper advertisement as well as social media only, and also some expenditure occurred by in the ground situation only we can find.
Right.
At that time we found 2019 election, we had bills actually as CMEV, we collected them 3,600 million rupees they have spent. It is maybe 15 or 20% expenditure.
How many candidates?
35 candidates. And that the fascinating thing is actually out of 35 candidates, the only 2 candidates have spent 94% of that 3,000 total expenditure. Okay, that is the situation. But I strongly believe that maybe they have spent more than 30,000 million, like that. It is very heavy. That but if we are coming the 20 rupees per voter, that I already told that mentioned that president can only spend 3,440 million rupees only. Actually last time we saw that during that time actually one of candidates has spent more than 400 million rupees for their transportation to hire helicopters and other stuff. That means they need more money, but it shouldn't be exceed much. But according to that that campaign finance law, you know that most of youth, Jayamal, if you are willing to contest in next, you know that you are a dynamic young character, but you may not have more money.
The funds, yes.
Then, but you should be there, to use your capacity, skills. But unfortunately, if you can't, if you don't have money, you will. You can't contest, no?
I see. So now,
but due to this election campaign law, actually, you have a mere chance. Okay, that then you can contest during election time period, even for at least for the local government election, using spending minimum money, because actually other candidates also restricted to spending the more money. Yeah.
So, Mr. Gajanayake, with this campaign finance law coming into effect, it has effectively put a cap on the total expenditure one can utilize in mounting a presidential campaign or a political campaign. What are the penalties or provisions included in this law should someone breach the cap that has been imposed through this law?
It is so important questions, because that if let's say now there are some offense like what can be happen, you know, that after once you contested, actually after 21 days you have to submit two kind of reports. One thing is actually the money you received, as well as the money, not only money and donations, in-kind donations. The second report should be actually how you spend money. Okay, two reports. Within 21 days, you have to submit all reports to the Election Commission. After 10 days, after election result issued, after 21 days only, you have to submit 20 reports. Then after 31 days, that means after 10 days, received all reports to Election Commission. Election Commission will put a paper advertisement telling that people that we have received these reports. After that only, actually people can search what are the spend money you have, what was the amount, actually what should be the amount that you have spent for the election time period. Then then there are many kind of, I mean, if you have not reported, you have not submitted your reports on time, that within 21,
if you haven't declared,
yeah,
okay,
haven't declared, one thing. Other thing is actually, if you have increased, actually you are there's upper limit, actually you have exceeded upper limit, that is another thing. And other thing is actually that when you submit your reports, actually you have to obtain the seal signature of Justice of Peace also,
right.
but they have attested only your signature only.
Okay.
Then if so, actually you can, what will happen, election commission, anyone can complain to before election commission.
Okay.
Election commission submit all the reports to Sri Lanka police.
Okay.
Then it is up to Sri Lanka police to take this case with under the instructions of Attorney General.
Okay.
Then Attorney General submit timely. Once they receive the instructions of Attorney General, then they will put the case before the court. Then if you are guilty, then what will happen, actually you will lose your political rights for 4 years.
I see.
That mean political rights mean actually you will not be able to vote as well as contest. Okay, that is the main thing. Other thing is actually up to 100,000 actually. In sometimes if you have included false information, actually you may have, I mean, you have to
pay a fine.
That's a penalty fine,
Okay.
actually up to 100,000.
Right. So we spoke about campaign finance laws. I want to bring your attention back very quickly to the role of the election commission, because now we are unsure in Sri Lanka as to which election will be held, although according to the constitution the presidential election is slated to be held. Certain political parties and representatives of those parties have come forward and said it is better if a general election is held. No, there will be a presidential election. The president believes there should be a presidential election. And there is a lot of ambiguity, there's a lot of confusion, even the voters are unaware of who is going to contest, when the election is going to be held, which election will be held, and so on. But the election commission still remains tight-lipped regarding all of this. Do you not think that it is prudent for the election commission to come forth and stipulate particular dates, especially in the public, in the interest of the general public, to stipulate the dates of which election will be held when, and to provide more clarity to the voters who will eventually go into the polls?
Jamal, we as election monitors, actually once we met all the members of election commission, we requested them to appoint at least a media spokesperson.
Right.
And also, and as well as actually the release some of press release as well as use some of social media platform to aware people. But unfortunately, they have not taken any that progressive steps to aware people. As well as most of times actually they are in a sound sleep.
Right.
Let me to say like that. Because sometimes I am thinking that this commission has established under the 20th constitutional amendment. Okay, if it is established under the 20th amendment, we can understand, because Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa wanted to control the election in the independent election independent commissions. But unfortunately, this specific commission has established under the 21st amendment. Okay,
right.
after that youth uprising.
Yes.
Okay, then what will happen actually? Even there are some professionals and some of represent civil society organizations also. But have you ever heard any message or any press release or seen actually that telling that we need to have local government election, provincial council elections, that pressurizing president?
There is no
Maybe
lobbying.
they have sending letters secretly to the president, but unfortunately we are not aware.
We are not aware.
But as an independent election commission, it is not a department. We should understand that. It is not an institution under the government.
Yes.
Okay, they are responsible only for the parliament. Then actually it is up to them to aware people that what is going on. Unfortunately in this time, you know that provincial council election that almost disappeared for 6 years right now.
It has been postponed.
Then it is nearly 2 years now. No local government
councils have
elections.
been- yes, they have been
Even that that most of people are on the fence. That it is fascinating to tell you. I will tell that 2024 is a remarkable year. you know that most of nations that are out of 193 nations registered in the UN actually, out of 193 countries, 64 nations are coming up with elections, okay, including India, America, actually most of elections. So it is 2024 is a remarkable year. But unfortunately, when I am searching Google for those elections, most of countries that telling that yes, that the this election will conduct on this date.
Right.
But when it comes to Sri Lankan chapter,
there is no
it
mention.
says that presidential election to be considered, but not to be considered, Jayamal. It is in the constitution
Must
clearly.
be held.
No, must be held, and we should have a president before the October, month of October. But in this situation, I think election commission should be proactive than this.
I see. So my guest tonight, Manjula Gajanayake, representing the Institute for Democratic Reforms and Electoral Studies, someone who is very well versed in democratic reforms, election-related matters, and as you know, as there a countdown for Sri Lanka's election, whichever one it may be, we need to be aware as citizens of this country on the ongoings in Sri Lanka, what laws are in place, especially concerning elections and electoral reforms. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have this evening to discuss matters at length with you, Mr. Gajanayake. Thank you very much for joining me and enlightening me and our viewers on all things political and election related. Thank you once again for joining me.
Thanks for inviting me.
And that's the way it was on Face to Face this evening. Do take care and have yourself a great night.